Happy winter, Alaska. Joe Morrison, 49 SAF Pod. And coming to you this time with a special pitch of people who want to pitch you. This podcast is all about OTIS. We talk with 5 or 6 people involved in OTIS. OTIS is the Ocean Technology Innovation Sprint. It is a bleedingly early stage effort in Anchorage, Alaska, to get groups of potential entrepreneurs and innovators to think about solving problems in the blue economy. A lot of different stakeholders are involved. I told Joel I would try and talk about his sponsors, but it looks like there's nearly 20 sponsors of this thing. So congrats to OTIS for spinning something up that's really exciting really quickly and doing something really great. So if you were wondering if Alaska's entrepreneurial ecosystem is growing, good news, it is. Last week, we had our Startup Accelerators Demo Day. This week, on October 27th, is OTIS's Demo Night from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Lusac Library's newly remodeled theater in Anchorage. So congratulations to everybody for all the hard work they've been doing and all the pitches they've been making in Demo Days and Demo Nights. And let's go to OTIS. And you can find more information about OTIS online at otis.blue. Okay, so this is a little weird. If people could see this, they would really be amazed that this is like sort of it's like a hacky sack circle with a podcast mic in the middle of it. Let's go through the circle. No drums, no bongos. Introduce yourself and tell us what you do and what are you working on at OTIS. So shall we just start here?
Sure.
No, you got to go all the way.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline Summers. I'm with the Business Enterprise Institute. With OTIS, I'm the communications captain.
Hi, I'm Joel Kleduis. I'm with the Alaska Ocean Cluster Initiative, and in terms of OTIS, I just do what Julia tells me to do.
Hi, I'm Taylor Evenson. I'm with Alaska Salmon Fertilizer, and as far as OTIS, I'm a participant with Team Beaufort Sea.
Hi, I'm Elise Donis. I'm the program manager for Launch Alaska, and with OTIS, I'm a participant on Team Chukchi.
Hi, I'm Julia Casey. I am an AmeriCorps Vista at the Center for Economic Development, and I think I just became the boss of OTIS.
Congratulations, boss of OTIS. What's OTIS? Can you tell me what OTIS is boss?
I think that's why I just became the boss. We figured it out. OTIS is the Ocean Technology Innovation Sprint, and it's based off of the Google Venture Sprint process. And it's really a way to bring people together with varying backgrounds and tackle some really cool, interesting problems in the ocean economy.
And so what was the first, you guys are 1 week in, is that right?
We are on to our 3rd week, so next Friday night is our demo night, and we are going to show everybody all the things we've learned and have a big old celebration.
Well, no, stay right here, Julia. So let's go ahead and promote demo night now and later in the cast. So what is demo night, where is it, and what are we going to see?
Demo night is the celebration of everything that the teams have learned, as well as just a great community gathering. We are going to have food and drinks and all sorts of fun stuff. It's at the Lusac Library in their newly renovated space. And it will be from 6 to 9 p.m. October 27th, or next Friday night.
Perfect. So it looks like we have a couple teams from OTIS here. And I would like you guys to introduce yourselves. And you've worked on this for 3 weeks. You've worked on your project for 3 weeks. So tell us what your project is and what you hope to present on Friday night next week.
Yeah, this is Taylor again. Well, our project is centered around trying to find answers to renewable energy problems in tidal regions out in the perimeter of Alaska. We think that there's a serious problem with energy costs and the cost of getting renewables to those people as far as installation and the amount of knowledge necessary are very large. And so we're trying to come up with a small-scale renewable energy tidal power model. And I think you can come and see that on October 27th, and it might be kind of impressive.
Ooh, so Elise?
To explain our project, I think it's worthwhile to go through the process of OTIS or explain what that looks like. The first week, we talked about different problems in the blue economy, and our team was really interested in renewable energy. I pitched kind of seaweed industry. There was tidal energy and other things kind of thrown out there, and we did a problem mapping exercise. The next week everyone went to Launch Alaska Demo Day to see what it was like to see startups pitch in front of a large crowd, which is what will happen at demo night for OTIS as well. And Saturday was really a brainstorming. The Saturday after demo day for Launch Alaska was really a brainstorming session to continue to look through different problems. And my team was focused on finding a way to incorporate wind or solar onto a boat to make it at least partially powered or fully powered by renewable energy. And we went through a lot of iterations and did a lot of different brainstorming and got had a couple ideas, like a solar kite that would basically make a hybrid boat, as well as like a boat pulling solar, kind of like laying it in the water. But basically, we came to the conclusion that was not feasible for a number of different reasons. So we decided to go back to the drawing board and pursue this the challenge of the seaweed industry. So that's something that we've been just recently looking into the last 5 days or so. So we're still in that kind of idea stage and just trying to get in touch with a lot of people in the industry here in Alaska to figure out what the real problem is. And so far we've found that it's not necessarily the seaweed farming itself, but that there are no distributors. There's only one buyer, and there's no products being made out of it other than kelp salsa and kelp pickles, which are just distributed very, very locally in Juneau. So we're looking into different seaweed products right now, and that's our challenge that we're working on.
So from energy to seaweed, it sounds like, or maybe seaweed could be energy someday. But and to learn more about that kind of thing, if I could talk to Joel and Jacqueline, both of you guys, if you could come over here. Mm-hmm. So, and go ahead and definitely reach in and tell me, so how many people are involved in OTIS at this point as participants?
We have just about over 30 about active participants in the program right now. One thing that's really innovative that we've done is we have a virtual team. So a team who have never met in person, who only meet online. We have people from all over the state of Alaska and even outside the state. So we've been surprised at how active and passionate people have been. We've thrown a lot of work and hard challenges at them, and they have hung in there.
So why do this, Joel? Like, you're with the Bering Sea Fishermen's Association, and I think that there's an innovation initiative tied to the Bering Sea Fishermen's Association. Why take this on?
So, the Bering Sea Fishermen's Association launched the Alaska Ocean Cluster Initiative about 6 months ago, and the goal is really to advance Alaska's blue economy. And so we see it as building the ecosystem of entrepreneurship and innovation in Alaska's blue economy, starting with programs like OTIS and also Ocean Tuesday, which is a weekly statewide collaborative event using the Zoom video conference technology. And that's kind of what gave us the idea for the virtual team, is to get the state connected, and collaborating and working together on big challenges in the ocean. And ultimately, we see the ocean economy, or the sustainable development of the oceans, otherwise known as the blue economy, as a real emerging frontier around the world and an incredible opportunity for Alaska. So this is one step in that overall initiative.
Jacqueline, tell us what the remote team is working on.
Well, one big problem that we have in Alaska is that we have the graying of the fleet. And that means that many of our active boat captains, our workers, are all getting older, and they're not necessarily getting replaced. So the virtual team is working on workforce development and training for the upcoming generation to take advantage of the blue economy.
So if I can pick a hole in OTIS, if I was going to put on a critical hat and say, why do this? Why do this? I ran into a guy who served on the board of a large seafood processor. maybe it wasn't a seafood processor, maybe it was just a fisheries company. And he said, this guy's actually a venture capitalist. And he said, Joe, I can tell you there's virtually no innovation in the space. And it's old technology. They're really not doing new things. And so good luck. Good luck with maritime innovation. And there is growing talk of maritime innovation throughout the Pacific Northwest. So tell me, what's your response to that kind of criticism, guys?
I would say that it's ripe for change, that there's a huge emerging industries around the world, from ocean technology, ocean renewable technology, marine biotechnology, where people, companies, entrepreneurs are doing amazing things with the resources in the ocean. And it's generally for the sustainable development. Like, for example, and I was expecting your question about my favorite startups.
You can do that. You can answer that. Why don't you go answer that?
Okay, so my favorite startup for you, Joe, is a company called Buggy Power, and they're using microalgae for pharmaceutical and food products. And so the interesting thing there is that it's kind of a triple bottom line, where they are making considerable profit from these high value products and pharmaceuticals. They're helping people, and they're also helping the planet by capturing carbon from the oceans.
So what has been Taylor, just jump in there. Come on, buddy. Come on up.
Yeah, well, I had a thought about that. I mean, to levy against that criticism, I think that's solving these problems is exactly what Joel is looking for. I mean, I think that he is, and this initiative and OTIS are entrepreneurs in the space of facilitating entrepreneurship. And I think that OTIS is kind of the MVP of that space, and it's brought together all these people who never knew each other before, who are all centered around trying to solve the exact problem you're talking about. Why is there no innovation? And when you see how many innovative people, these 30 applicants, there are in the space that are interested in answering, these exact questions, it gives you hope for that future. And I think that what Joel is doing is incredibly important. And the question going forward is, how is he going to maintain this group and this community? Because I know that we had some conversations, Joel and I did, before this ever started, in regards to my startup and kind of complaints that I had, and I was whining about the community or the outreach, and how it's like very difficult to get together. And I think that, some of that might have spurred, and probably other conversations spurred him to create this community. And I think that it's really an incredible opportunity. It's the kind of thing that we need in Alaska and we need nationally. And I think that when people start thinking about small businesses and innovation kind of being the backbone of the American economy and of future growth, this is the kind of project people should be getting behind and funding. I mean, all the things that money go through in the world, why not put money towards entrepreneurs and the people who are really out there grinding, the dogs in the pit that are really working hard. And I think that's exactly what Joel is trying to do with this initiative. And I can't wait to see what comes out of this next.
And I appreciate Taylor's comments, but I should really get the least amount of credit in this whole thing. I'm just more or less a bystander. And again, I answer to Julia and Jacqueline for that matter. But I think we should talk more about, the way this came about and some of the people involved. And it really started about 3 months ago with the conversation with Nigel Sharp, the global entrepreneur in residence at UAA, about a similar program he implemented in Boulder, Colorado earlier this year. And so through that conversation, we thought, well, maybe we could do a similar program in Alaska around oceans. And so he has really been, the heart and soul of this program. And I've never met, someone so hardworking and selfless as Nigel. And I really, we'd be nowhere without Mr. Sharp. And the same with Julia and Jacqueline and the rest of the OTIS team. We have Kelsey Schober, who's not here today, and also Hannah Heimbuck down in Homer. So it's been kind of a statewide collaborative effort. And I did want to kind of make a couple other comments about participants and mentors and sponsors. I wanted to list all of our sponsors, but Julia told me we have too many, so we can't take the whole podcast and list sponsors. So that's a good thing. We appreciate all the support from the community. We have 15 mentors in this program, and some great mentors like Joe that have been integral. And also the participants, I think, have been probably the what has impressed me the most in this program. The participants, the level and the caliber of the participants have just absolutely blown me away. And I think the common denominator in all the participants is that they want to create a sustainable future for Alaska, and they see the oceans as an opportunity to do that. And so I just want to say thanks for all the community support.
Well, yeah, no, I think he's right. There's been a lot of people that have come into this, but I mean, I think that you were looking for some way to contribute to this community, and I guess that's in my way saying I could say thank you for it. And the last month that I've been in this program, I know how much it's meant to me and a lot of the other people who are entrepreneurs. No, seriously, and I think it's a big step. I think it's one of the first steps. And yeah, Nigel's been a big part of it, and everyone else. I mean, the people in this room, of course. But yeah, I think it's the beginning of something really, really meaningful. And I hope the momentum just continues. And I hope people that hear about it try to get involved and try to get in contact with OTIS people, all the people here and Nigel, et cetera. And I think that otis.blue is the place to do that. And I think it's something worth investing in, both time, energy, and money.
So I'll admit, I totally have a crush on Otis. It's so great. And just there were so many people that I'd never met. And that's huge. That's such a big deal, right? Exactly. Because there's 300,000 people in Anchorage, and we've been having maybe, if you were going to criticize a conversation, maybe it's been too small of a conversation. You're getting more people involved. It's really, really exciting. But one thing that Taylor talked about was, how do you keep the conversation going? So I'm interested to hear from this group what your thoughts are. You've got a bunch of participants together. They've broken out into teams. Nigel Sharp, doing a great job as the Global Entrepreneur in Residence at the University of Alaska Business Enterprise Institute and beyond. And you've created teams. The teams are doing good things. They're going through the sprint process. They're creating a value proposition. They're going to have a demo day, and it's been 3 or 4 weeks, right? But what happens next? What are your ideas, guys?
That conversation will be had on demo night. We want all of you to come and be a part of it. It's really it's endless. We could do anything from here. This was simply a pilot project. Nigel and Joel, possibly Taylor too, thought, what would happen if we got a bunch of smart people in the same room and got talking about what could happen in the ocean economy. So we will be discovering what's next. There will definitely be more OTIS programs, and there'll be more Ocean Tuesdays. I'm going to bring Joel back in and have him come in and tell us more.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right, Jacqueline. We'll continue with the Ocean Tuesday. You can find more information at oceantuesday.com and participate in that weekly statewide discussion. The OTIS program, we want to focus right now on completing a successful first OTIS, and we'll definitely be having the conversation afterward, getting feedback from the participants, from the mentors, and from the community on the value created and how we can improve on the next iteration of OTIS or other ecosystem building programs.
So let's hear a little from our participants. What has been the toughest part of OTIS? And then I'll roll to Julia for a similar question.
This is Elise. I would say the toughest part is just time and coordination. So we, as a team, we only physically meet once a week, but there's so much to do beyond that. So finding time where we can all meet virtually has been a bit of a challenge. And then also I personally really believe in customer discovery and talking to as many people in the industry that you're looking into. And for instance, so we've been looking a lot into seaweed, and it's just been a bit challenging, again, trying to fit in meetings with people to learn more about the pains in that industry. And I think the facilitators at OTIS have done a phenomenal job of making those introductions. So it's nothing to say with them, but I think in terms of what's going to happen next after OTIS and how to keep the momentum, I mean, I hope that my team continues to meet after and keep exploring the challenges within seaweed, and see what happens with it.
Yeah, I totally agree with Elise. I think it's the time frame is the most difficult thing to deal with, and the question of like how we're going to solve renewable energy problems, and this title thing, people that we're working on in our group, but people have been dedicating years to understanding that sort of thing. So the idea that we're going to be able to solve it in a month, it's a framework. It's a framework and understanding what the process of entrepreneurship is and some of the basic steps that are really important to forming an idea. And I think that's like really important training. But beyond that, to get back to it, it's networking, getting these people together and getting excitement. And so like that's I think maybe what the goal was for all this, and the actual outcome of it is going to be really cool. But if a really good idea comes out of it, maybe somebody will dedicate months and years to it, and we'll have a solution down the road that was seeded at OTIS.
Final words, final thoughts, one sentence, starting with my friend Jacqueline. Jacqueline, in 2018, OTIS is going to?
I think we're going to discover new industries for Alaska is what we're going to do.
We'll have at least one more OTIS, and we will hopefully see some of the ideas from OTIS be turned into commercializable businesses.
And you don't get to go anywhere. What happens with Otis's winner on Friday? Do they get to go to San Diego, which is sweet and filled with sun and tacos?
So, yes, there are no cash prizes with OTIS, but there is an opportunity to go to San Diego to be part of Blue Tech Week, which is sponsored by the Maritime Alliance, which is the most successful blue technology cluster in the United States. And so it's an event in San Diego around ocean technology. So that's the winning prize.
Right on. Taylor, in 2018, OTIS is going to
create an even larger community of entrepreneurs that will solve serious problems in the blue economy.
And with Joel and Taylor, my hope is that there'll be some businesses that come out of OTIS this year and next year that are solving that issue of innovation in the blue economy.
We'll probably get into some shenanigans too.
Well, with shenanigans from, is this DeBar? No, this is Brigat? Yeah, so with shenanigans, signing off from Brigat and the Business Enterprise Institute. This is Joe Morrison, the 49 SAF pod, and Jacqueline, and Joel, and Taylor, and Elise, and Julia. And they are all going to listen to, pick a band. If you don't, I will. They're all going to listen to the melodious sounds of Punk vs. Goes Pop, volumes 1 through 7, on their Spotify playlists when they go home. Joe Morrison, 49 SAF pod, night. Woo!